to hear more from you. Just exclude Mr. Wilkerson. I think he might resign and be
a farmer.
Yeah, if he does, he'll probably have a lot of help. Okay. Next item on, that's the only 3 people we had to sign in, so the next item on our agenda is the Guyan Valley Middle School LSIC report. John Atkins. Mr. Atkins.
Mr. Priestley, thank you, sir.
Nice having you with us this evening.
Good to be here. For the records, this tie is Guyan Valley Blue and Gold, not WVU Blue and Gold. Just wanted to clarify that on record.
It's official. It's gone viral now.
Just wanted to make sure Mr. Newton got on with it already.
You can't have a garden, John.
You'll probably have a surprise inspection in the morning.
I'd like to say good evening to each one. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Present our annual LSIC report for Guyan Valley Middle School. Just a little history here. This is, most of you already know, this is a picture of Guyan Valley and its construction in 1926. Our building is very old. Landscapes changed a little bit. According to history, this was a creek, I guess, that ran through what's the front lawn now. This was newly constructed Route 10. Just a nice little picture I got from Lucian Isaacs and the Frank Lambert collection. Several others of the football teams and such. And, just some good history. I'm interested in things like that. Talk a little bit about last year's successes and challenges. First, our successes. We seen an increase in achievement in our West S2 scores. Also a success, Miss Bobby Wiley, our 7th grade language arts teacher, was the Lincoln County Teacher of the Year. Very proud of her for that. Also, Miss Mary Payton, one of our custodians, was the Service Employee of the Year. Very proud of that as well. Some good quality professional development that took place throughout the year, whether that was through the school improvement grant conferences, whether that was school-based professional development. It was ongoing throughout the year. Seen a lot of good results from the professional development that we received. Operation Wildcat Pride, in the summer we had community cleanup day. A lot of participation for that, a lot of donations, a lot of material donations, equipment donations. Some of the things that were accomplished, we were able to plant flowers and shrubbery along the walks, sealed the front walkways in front of the school, cut the barbed wire off of the fence around the football field, got rid of that. That was becoming a safety issue. Got rid of those things, replaced that with the yellow fence cap, the pipe that goes over that. Just a lot of tidying up, worked on the walking track, just a little sprucing up and some weed eating and things like that. Board of Education response to needs, I wanted to say thank you. Last year, I requested that you guys help us out with fixing the walkway between the gym, going from the gym to the school. You did that in a very rapid manner, and I appreciate that. I just wanted to take time to say that. And just our community support, seeing an increase in people that are willing to come out and help and do whatever it takes to make Guyan Valley a better place. Challenges for last year, we did have a change in administration. I took over after the school year had started last year. I did present the LSIC report last year, but it was my first year. Also, Mr. Roy, my assistant principal, came on board last year. We were both new, and 2 new principals, and then second thing, change in office staff. We had a brand new inexperienced secretary as well, and that was definitely a challenge. And I don't say that necessarily as a negative, just a new chapter in 3 people's lives, and when those 3 people are all in the same building, sometimes that can be tough through the day-to-day. Facilities, again, our building's 100 years old. Mr. Smith and the maintenance department, they have fixed a lot of those things. We had some issues with the heat, just not knowing maybe if it would work today or not. But they're on that. They fixed that. So a lot of improvements as we've gone into this year. Of course, myself, Mr. Roy, both have experience. We do have a new secretary at school who had previous year's experience. So a lot of the challenges that we faced last year are not necessarily there this year. Excuse me. Our West S2 achievement results from last year, it's kind of hard to see. In math, we grew 4 points from 43% in 2011 to 47% in 2012. Reading language arts, we stayed the same. Wasn't real happy with that, but was also happy that we didn't lose any ground. We did maintain what we had, so we'll take that. Achievement facts, we did not make AYP overall. We didn't make AYP in the all white and low SES subgroups in math. And we did not make AYP in the students with disabilities subgroup in math or language arts. If you guys have any questions at any time, feel free to stop me. I'm trying to stand out of the way so you can see. Here's some things that we're doing about it. We've started this year on our Wednesday morning PLC meeting time, did an inquiry-based data analysis approach where teachers took the data apart, their West Test 2 data, took that apart in layers. They made inferences and observations about each piece that they looked at, and they looked at the different strands within their content area. In math, you have numbers and operations, algebraic expressions, etc. So they looked at each one of those areas, and they looked at how each subgroup performed in each of those areas, and they made inferences and observations about that. As a result of that analysis, and this was no surprise, the major problems that we have in relation to achievement as our students with disabilities subgroup, we're continuing to see a large gap, achievement gap, between them and the all group, and our achievement gap between our males and females in reading language arts. Our males are falling much further behind our females in terms of performance. Our results of our analysis, we use that to create action plans, and this is an example of that. Guy Valley Middle School has been working with the June Harless Center at Marshall University. Based from our data analysis, we came up with strategies to target our problems. Just kind of give you an example, one strategy is to provide a list of questions to use for higher order thinking. Implementation, I don't know if you can see this, we're going to implement the Daggett training. The Daggett training we received at the Model Schools Conference in Orlando, Florida this summer. Very beneficial professional development opportunity. Got a lot of things, a lot of tools to bring back. Chose to choose 3 strategies to use in the classroom to bridge that gap between the males and the females, and then to share with the department the successes and challenges of the strategies. So in other words, teachers are sharing, if they have something that's working, they're sharing that with other people. If they're challenged with something, they're going to their colleagues to ask for help and to see what they can do about that. Then you have your outcomes, the desired outcomes, results. And each content area created one of these monitoring plans or one of these action plans based on their data analysis. Any questions on any of that? On professional development, a couple of things I wanted to mention. The Effective Schools Conference that we attended last year, the administrators of the county and central office personnel, and these are things that I really feel made a difference. Very interesting professional development. I'll be the first to admit I'm not a, when it comes to meetings, they have to grab me, grab my attention. And these are the ones that really I felt that, hey, I can take this back and make a difference. The Effective Schools Conference, the Model Schools Conference that we attended in Orlando over the summer, the Rigor, Relevance, and Relationships Framework. We've been providing what we got at the Model Schools Conference, we've been providing to our staff, the rest of the teachers, in our Thursday grade level meeting times as we have those scheduled. Our inquiry-based data analysis, and I had a star beside of that. I actually had 4 teachers rather, that attended the West Virginia Data Institute, and they learned about this process. And 2 of those came back, and they have led the rest of the staff through this. It took us a little longer this year to really dig through our data the way that we need to than it would normally. But it was, again, this was a new process. People were unfamiliar with it. So hopefully next year we will really be able to get this off the ground really quickly. The involvement with the June Harless Center, which is ongoing. They've been coming in working with teachers directly on how to use data to change the day-to-day instruction. The IPI training, we've got teachers now trained in the instructional practices inventory, and that is a very good look at what's going on in the building. They go around, of course teachers, they visit classrooms and get snapshots of what students are doing. They rate those on a scale of 1 to 6, 1 meaning complete student disengagement, and 6 meaning student learning conversations, those real higher level activities that students are involved in. And then SIG conferences, these are joined with the school improvement grant that we have. We attend 3 of those conferences per year. And there's several sessions that go on throughout those conferences. They're usually hour-long sessions, and you rotate through those. And then the leadership team that goes with me, we bring that information back to the staff. Current successes and needs and challenges. Successes, we did see a nice increase in our ACT Explorer scores, and I had a copy of those to bring with me, but I forgot them. Mr. Linville provided those with me a while back, and overall it was a growth of anywhere from 1 to 2 percentage points per content area, and then in the national average we increased as well. Continued growth in our Scholastic Reading Inventory and Scholastic Math Inventory scores. We administer those exams to students every 9 weeks. We're just seeing continued growth every time that we administer those. The Scholastic Read 180 program has been a big success for us there at Guyan Valley, especially with our reading scores. And then the new curriculum that we're using for math this year, the Carnegie Mathia, has really made a difference as well. And again, we're seeing that in terms of SRI and SMI scores. Our Wednesday morning meetings are a big success, and again, I want to thank you, Board, for allowing us that time. It provides teachers that opportunity to collaborate, look at data, and make decisions that change instruction, which in effect helps students succeed. Support from our central office personnel. I just want to take time to thank them for their involvement, the feedback that they give us, their level of involvement at the school. Anything that we need, they're more than willing to help us with, and again, I attribute that as a success. And then our support from our school improvement specialist, Mr. Steve Polly and Ms. Jan Stanley, who work with us there at Guyan Valley, have been, as I told them, a godsend, and their knowledge, their experience that they have helped me, Mr. Roy, tremendously, and just helped the overall direction of the school. I believe in being honest and upfront. Our current needs, we've got to improve our school culture. That is still an area of concern from my standpoint, from Mr. Roy's standpoint. I believe Ms. Coburn would agree with me here, Mr. Midkiff, Ms. Lucas, that this is an area that we still need to work on. We're currently working on that. We've implemented a secret POW program, just ways to bring the staff together more as a team. I asked the staff to submit ideas that they would have to do this. They presented those to me. We acted on those results. We gave them that information at our last Wednesday morning meeting, and so we're working towards that. The second one here, I want to take time to talk about meaningful consequences for discipline infractions. And I'm an aware person. I know that money is tight. Bertie probably says, yes, you're right, amen, amen. One of the things that we see, especially in the middle school level, we lost funding for our after-school detention Saturday school program. I've called Don Chapman at the State Department to see if there's any grant opportunities, anything available. These are very strong deterrents for discipline. I know Mr. Roy would agree with that, as he deals with most of our discipline. In-school suspension is a very strong deterrent, especially for middle school students. Currently, we have out-of-school suspension and lunch detention. And sometimes we have teachers that will volunteer to keep a student in an in-school detention or in-school suspension situation if we need them to. But as you know, out-of-school suspension is not ever helping a kid. I mean, we have to do that, of course, sometimes to keep people safe. According to, we have to follow the code, but it's still not a good intervention. So that is a need. I don't know if there's if you guys know of any grant opportunities, any monies available to help us with an in-school suspension teacher, after-school detention teacher, Saturday school detention teacher. That could be all one and the same person. If that would be a great help to us. If there's anything available for that. And I put increased security measures. I think that Mrs. Lucas will be presenting that to the board after a while, so I'll just let you take care of that. And then sustaining school improvement, that's just out there. As you know, our school improvement grant will be over this year. We've got to sustain the changes that we've made and keep making improvements. And of course, again, with limited resources and maybe even personnel concerns or staffing concerns rather, it's always going to be a challenge, and I guess you guys probably know that in your experience. But we commit to doing the best that we can to make Guyan Valley Middle School a successful school. And one final parting thought is, Charlotte says that it's all under control. I may leave that for you. Any questions, anything that I could clarify for you?
That was a good one, John. Any members of the board, anybody have any questions?
The gym, do we have AC in the gym now?
We do have AC in the gym.
Good thing.
It works very well.
Wednesday mornings, I know you said it was a big help, but we had somebody to propose to us that we change that till Wednesday afternoon. What's your feelings on that?
Afternoons, the problem with afternoons that I've seen is that, and I'm speaking from personal experience as a teacher, as an administrator, and even talking with other administrators, by the end of the day, people's minds are, they're wiped out. I'm wiped out, and it's really hard to focus at the end of the day. Once when you're dealing with students all day, you've been teaching, you've been handling the problems. I think it's really it's going to be a real big challenge to have the same quality of collaborative time that we would have if we moved back to the evenings.
Okay, I think their concern too was over speeding up the lunches when they started late, breakfasts and lunches.
Okay.
That was a concern of theirs.
We, and Mr. Roy could maybe even elaborate on this. As far as I know, everything's been going smooth.
Our lunches are the same, they have the same allotted time. The only difference is there's a 5-minute difference between the time that they report to lunch. They still get the same amount of time. It's just instead of having 10 minutes between those lunches, they now have 5 minutes between the 6th grade lunch, between the 7th grade lunch.
And they still get their breakfast as soon as they get there.
Yeah.
That's
I have a couple of things, please. Your school improvement grant, is this concluded with this year, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, this concludes at the end of this fiscal year. Is that correct, Mrs. Cove?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I was afraid you were going to say that. I wasn't expecting that. The other thing is regarding your areas, I noticed that in math, are you all concentrated on any particular area? Or are you just analyzing your scores and then just trying to?
Algebra is our biggest area of weakness. And what I can tell from our math teachers, there's been a gap, and I think this even goes maybe to the curriculum that we follow, of course, the West Virginia CSOs. I think there have been things, and I'm a math teacher, so if I rumble through this, pardon me, but Mr. Midkiff, if you have anything that you'd like to add, you're more than welcome to do so. We kind of had this discussion today. Algebra, a lot of basic foundational math concepts have to be stored in memory. Multiplication tables, being able to do mental math, arithmetic in your head, and I think we see a lack of that. And I think that's why our algebra, the area of algebra suffers, is because we don't have that basic computation down to a real high-speed art, if you will. This is just personal opinion. We see the use of calculators, increased use of calculators, and I see that undermining that ability to do mental math. Again, that's my personal philosophy. I'm not a math expert, but that's what I think.
I think a lot of us are relying on new means of technology to do things. But, so are you saying as a school as a whole, algebra in particular and math in general are areas that you're concentrating on?
Yes. Again, in each grade level, the CSOs, you have number and operations as a strand within those CSOs. There's 5 CSOs that pertain to number and operations. There's 5 CSOs that pertain to geometry, 5 that pertain to algebra. And those ones specifically in the area of algebra seem to be our weakest among the grade levels. And then, of course, our math department, when they met with the Harless Center, they have the same They, again, worked on that same logic model, same plan that I showed you an example of, and that's where the focus is.
Well, if no one has anything else, I guess we'll be up to visit you here in a couple of weeks or so when we have our bond meeting.
Yes, looking forward
As
to
we
it.
work towards maybe having a new picture one day to show.
That would be nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys, appreciate it.